Well, good evening, everyone. I hope that everyone is exceptionally well. It's 8 p.m. on my watch, so we might kick off with tonight's members webinar. It's a platinum webinar, so often we work through the positions we've currently got, questions and positions you may have, and then we move on to, as per the agenda, on to the Lucky Life formula and how you're working through that with the personal development aspect to it all. Also, I want to just touch base with you with regard to Antarctica. That is absolutely on. This trip is going off, and I had a meeting today with World Expeditions, and they are marketing it through their network, going to 48,000 people, and I'm doing a special presentations in their boardroom, so that's great. So yeah, I'd really encourage any one of you to consider coming with us on that. So how do you pay for it? You pay for it with your trading and your profits and the equity pulled out of your property, which is all pretty cool. So I'm going to start with the top of the list here in alphabetical order. I'm going to start with, for some reason, very unusual, Steve McKenzie, but you are top of the alphabetical order tonight. How are you going?
Good, Pete. That's pretty strange considering I'm an S and an M. So.
That's right. Well, you're followed by another S, a T, and then a Will Akadaryl. So, Steve, how are you going?
Good, Pete. Good. I've just got that CEIN, wasn't it? That's just under.
So, you got how many positions you got on overall?
I've only got 3 sitting on at the moment.
You've only got 3 on. Yep.
Yeah, just because there's a bit of margin being used.
Oh, you got margin being used. Okay, that's unusual for you. And you've got 1 under, and it is.
I've got 2 under actually.
Oh, 2 under. There you go.
Yeah, I ended up having to roll, I think Trev did as well, we ended up having to roll Cree last month just to get some margin back in our account.
Oh, yeah. So
Cree at 52.50 as well.
You rolled Cree at 52.50, so we'll look that up. And you rolled CIEN, I suppose, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got that at, what do you got that at?
21, the same as what you had posted.
So I missed that. Somebody's got some feedback there. Anybody on the call, if you're not being talked to or don't need to talk for a bit, can you please mute yourself? And to mute yourself, if you want to know how to mute yourself, you just go up to the telephone button, top left-hand corner, and there's a picture of a microphone. Just click that, and that mutes you. Yeah, good. So, Steve, you've got CIN at what price?
21.
Yeah, 21. No worries. Good. Well, we'll look that up. We'll look up those in a moment when we get the list together. So, I mean, how do you feel about those positions anyway?
Yeah, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, cool.
Keen to see what you think about Cree as well, and yeah, it's possible it could come back up. I'm not too sure. I mean, VRX came up quite a bit that I ended up rolling as well last month, so it's come up well above now.
Oh, good man. That's good. Only because we've got some new members with us who are just getting going with their trading. I see Adam's just joined us and so forth. Just a quick snapshot, not a big monologue, but in summary, Steve, how long have you been trading with me?
I've been trading with you for 3 years, Pete.
And how much have you been making or losing since then?
Bull making. Yeah, I've been making pretty much close to 3, maybe 4%. Sometimes a lot better than that, and it consistently. Yeah, so 50% per year.
Yeah, so 3 to 4% per month. You're saying, yep.
Yep.
Oh, good man. Well, that's great. People love hearing that and knowing about that. Thank you. Good. I'll keep any particular questions for tonight.
No, just look at those ones. Yep.
No worries. I'll keep on going with the alphabet. Adam, who's just joined us, how are you going?
Yeah, no difference to last week. Still waiting for this account to be set up, going through the education.
Good.
Emails that are coming through, which are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that work well for you, just being able to see that sort of like the trial and saying, oh, that's how these ones are performing? Yeah.
Most definitely. That sort of spreadsheet in terms of what it is, where it's at, how much it costs, like the points that are being rolled, and it's quite good.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Righto, so when do you reckon you'll be finished your education?
Pretty soon, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Righto, well, as soon as you've done that, just send me an SMS or an email, and with a couple of time slots that work for you, and I'll come back to you, and we'll have a chat on the phone, and we'll test you. and then we'll make you live, okay?
No worries.
And on another point, I know it says it in the education, but just remember, Adam, when you get an email from Option Express asking you a question about margin, make sure you answer it, but forward your answer to me before you send it off, okay?
Oh, okay, no worries.
Just in case you get it wrong, you know? Yeah. That's all part of the service. Good. Any questions for tonight?
No, just want to listen.
Good, man. I mean, just to reiterate, a lot of part of the webinars is not some. It's obviously most people are on board here are actually trading live, and it's good to talk about that. But it's also good for new people to get sort of like cross-pollination confidence from others who are already trading. So thank you for those who are sharing how they're trading. I'll go to Glenn up in Shepparton. How you going, Glenn?
Yeah, good, thanks, Peter.
That's good to hear. How was your Easter? You were heading off with the kids and family to the river?
Yeah, went up to Swan Hill in Mildura and watched the Mildura 100 or the ski racing up there over Easter. It was good.
That's all right. And you're back. Now, how's your trading going?
Trading's going well. I've got 10 trades on for May.
Yep.
Well, I guess I've got 8 trades on. 2 of them were rolled from last month.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Which was VRX and SLW.
Oh, yeah. What do you got those? What do you got those at?
SLW is at 22.
Yep.
And VRX is at 125.
Oh, yeah. 125. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay.
So they're at the moment they're both fine, and the other 8 trades that I put on are all fine.
Oh, beauty. And when you do those rolls, which obviously those positions VRX and SLW must have been under last month for you to do that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Did you lose money on the roll, or did you make money on the roll?
I actually, overall, between the 2 rolls, I made money.
Yeah.
But I actually made a fair bit on the roll for VRX.
For sure. Yeah.
But I lost a little bit on the roll for SLW.
Yeah.
But overall, I was still well up for between the 2.
Yeah, good to hear. Okay, good. And then for the new people, I can explain later on, what a roll is, but that's all covered in your education. Okay, good. Questions for tonight?
No, not really. I just I've been missing in action a little bit, and tried my hardest to get on here tonight just to get plugged back in.
Oh, good man. Yeah, part of the club. Righto. I'm going to go down to Steve Rowland, who made $6,000 last month, and he's probably on a mission to make more this month.
I actually made $7,300 last month. I told you a porky again.
Well done, Steve.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's all good. I've got 15 on, Peter.
Yep.
The only one that's of concern is CIEN, which is the same as Glenn.
Yeah.
No, Steve, the other Steve.
Yeah.
And UAL, it's come back pretty hard, but I'm just watching it as well.
Yeah, I wrote up on that today. It's come back a bit, but it's still above strike, isn't it? Yep.
So overall, I'm averaging 3.04% over 7 months, which is good. Last month, 4.93, which is excellent.
Very good. The last 7 months, I'm going to say. Oh, good man. And last month was 4.
So the only question I've got for you, Peter, is not that you would do it, but what would you laugh? What would happen if your OBP got down to 0? So you got into a bit of a situation where you got a little bit greedy.
Yep.
So they've done that.
Yep.
And your OBP went to 0.
Yep. Well,
does Options Express force you to sell, or buy to close, or what happens?
Yep. So I'll let you answer half that question. I'll answer the last part. If you've got 3 working days grace, and after that time they will sell almost by computer whatever. to release. So what did I say? I mean that they will buy to close whatever they need to get your OBP back up to positive. Right now, so that's a fact, and they might well just buy to close those ones which release the most margin, which might be the most damaging to you. You know, because they might be perfectly good positions. But what do you think you should do in those 3 days?
Obviously, you'd be selling your good ones. Or, sorry, you buy to close your good ones.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. So as I'm carefully managing the OBP.
Yeah.
For example, this month, I went from 40% down to 25%. It was. It actually came down pretty hard. So it was a bit of a watching brief, looking to potentially buy to close.
Yep.
But then it came back up to 40% again yesterday. So
yeah, well, you had the right approach. So just for those people who've been watching the market, what Steve's referring to is if you look at the market, what it did last month is it had a massive pullback. It's through here. This is the S&P 500 or the SPY, and Steve's talking about this period here. It had a massive pullback. And during that period, the market would have, rather than requiring 10, 11, 12% per position, it might have asked 20, 25%, almost double the amount of margin, and that can eat into your OBP, option buying power, and that's what Steve's referring to. So what do you do in that situation? You buy to close your best positions, not your worst positions. You buy to close your best positions. It does cost you a little bit, but that's what you do because it's better than having them do it. And as Steve's referring to, you actually don't get to that situation at all because you always keep OBP and you don't spend all your money. But that's how you handle it, and then that way, because you never lose money if you don't get forced to do it. You never lose money if you don't get forced to do something silly. And the way to do that is just keep it conservative and always keep OBP up your sleeve. Yep. Yep, good. So Steve, that's good, mate. So you 7,300 last month. How much do you reckon you're going to make this month?
Well, from yesterday's little jump up, it's I'm looking at another 5%, but I'm not being greedy. I understand that 3%'s the mark, and that's where I'm setting my mark at. But look, another 5% would be ideal. Yeah,
but again, I do encourage. I'm not even going to type that up. Just go 3 to 4% because you just don't want to do that. You don't want to go for 5% because that forces you to write that extra position that you shouldn't write. And you'll make more by doing things like you've done. Like you've gone ahead, you've bought that Yorkshire apartment. I spoke to Andreas, who's not on the call tonight, but he's also invested in the Yorkshire. We just on that topic, you'll always make more money, guys and girls, by investing in things which grow you a huge amount of capital, so you can put that capital to work in a vehicle like what we're talking about tonight. Now, Steve, that apartment you've bought, you wait until the end of this month. The difference between wholesale and retail will be validated because of all the retail sales that are happening. We've had 117 inquiries for retail purchases in the last 4 days.
Okay, wow. That's good.
It's really huge. We're having a function there, having a little jazz and music thing tomorrow night and just being inundated. So that's validation from the market about the values which people were told the retail was at, but yet all you guys on this call, you've bought it wholesale. So that's awesome. Anyway, so my point was, don't chase 5%. Just make 3 or 4%, and then just get more property. That's how you do it. Yeah. Sleep well at night time. So, Steve, any questions for tonight?
No, just the one I just asked. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Good question and well answered by yourself. Let me go down to Trevor Eden over in New Zealand. How are you, Trev? All good? Kia ora. Kia ora.
Kia ora, mate.
Kia ora. How are things?
Good. Yep. Apart from, I'm the same as Steve, CIE and Freed's taking a big dive.
Oh, yep. Just speak up a bit, Trev, but how many positions have you got on? 7 on. Okay, and you've got, and part of those 7 of those, and the other 5, how are they going?
Good.
All good?
Yep, that's right. Just come up again last night. And like Steve, my OBP dropped down to about $700.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're back up again.
All right, we'll just...
Still jumping.
Well, look, you know how we often say trade with up to 60%, you know, in volatile times, and I'm going to say right now these are volatile times, it's a fairly good time to only trade with 50, maybe 55%, you know, but just keep you're having real life experience of how your OBP can change. So just heed the warning and don't use up all your money.
Yeah, just talk to Mac and see for me that, yeah, we're still off the better ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't come to that, and then we're back up again. So.
Yeah, good. Buy to close, you mean? Yep, for sure. No worries. We've got viewer 5 and viewer 6 with no name. That's okay. You can feel free to send me a chat or speak up. Now, what about Will? How are you going?
I'm good, Pete.
That's good.
I've got 15 trades on. I wanted to get 20 on, but like I'm saying, the OBP bit the dust.
Yeah.
My OBP is currently 41%, but I got on a look last night and it was 35, so obviously we've had a bit of a rise today.
Can I just interrupt? Can I also interrupt? The rise isn't necessarily the market that changes your OBP. It's also the sentiment of the market, and that isn't always reflected on the SP 500 or whatever. The sentiment can be a whole lot of things, just to let you know. So OBP can change for a whole lot of reasons. Yep, keep going.
Yep, sweet. Yeah, I have CN as well, which is under strike.
Yep.
I rolled in full from last month before that we were talking about. Actually, I was going to give you the figures there because you were talking about how much OBP it made me keep, and I record that in my spreadsheet.
Yes.
And I had to bring in 51% for CN to bring it in when I first started it at the start of the trading month.
Yeah.
Last month. And another one was 42% in OBP because, you know, they're all bad ones.
Yeah, that's...
Now only one of them's up. Yeah.
42% of the strike price times 100, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So massive.
Yep, in other words, the value of the stocks, yes.
Yeah, so it's just check that because generally you base it on the strike, not the the market, the stock price, but
No, I based it on the strike.
yeah, on the strike. Anyway, either way,
I was going to say is I calculate what it's worth, what the amount of stock's worth, so I know if it went south,
yeah.
what I'd have to come in. Yeah, and then I just use that to work it out.
And as people may know, Will's a very conservative fellow, and he analyses everything I put up on the website. So he always knows to the decimal point exactly what his return is. How are you feeling about our strategy and how it's handled these recent volatile times?
I think it's been amazing, really. Just the fact that last month and I think the month before that were bad, and we came out of them positively, which is really good. And my figures, by the way, I must give you them as well. I'm on 21.5 for 8 months, and that averages 2.5 per month, which is after every cost, including your monthly fees.
Oh, including my education. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Well, there you go. That's a cheap education, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. No, I'm happy with 21% for 8 months.
Well done. Well done indeed. So you're all making good money, and that's awesome. Well, so have you booked your flights yet? You coming to Antarctica?
No.
As a general, you live in Canberra. That's cold. That's cold enough. Oh.
I'm more focused on retiring in a few years and that.
Yeah, well,
Money in that account, yeah.
yeah, well, and you head up, follow your mate. Evan, who's gone. I think he's going overseas tomorrow.
That's right. He plans to quit work this
There you go. And that's brought his retirement plan forward by about 2 years, I think. So there you go. Because when he met me, he was going, "Oh well, my plan is retiring." I think it was actually been 5 years. Anyway, since his results trading with us, he's kind of fast tracked that, and he's going to retire, I think, September.
He's gone in both feet.
Going in with both feet. Well, there you go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Well, that's good. Any other? Let me respond to those questions for tonight, which not so much questions, but we will have a little quick look at CRE, CIN, VRX 120, and SLW 20, 22, I should say. You remember those numbers for me, guys? We'll look them up quickly. SLW, VRX, CRE, CIN. I tell you what, my mother, plays bridge and so forth. I reckon trading's been good for my brain. I'm not saying I'm brilliant anyway, but I think it's been good for my memory. I don't know how you guys find it, but do you look at the recommendations and have to memorize them and then go to a different screen? I don't know what you guys think, but I find it's been good for my memory.
No, I've got 2 screens, Peter, so I'm good with that.
I tell you what I do, by the way, when I'm doing this sort of business, I do this. I do that, and then with this screen, I do this. Right? That's what I do. See that? That's quite a good way to do it. Oh, and then sorry, if I'm putting my trades on, I go here, and then, bang, 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 put your trades on like that. Anyway, that's a good way of doing it. Let me have a look at these questions. They are CIN 21. Yeah, well, that's all right. See that when you're making a judgment about a stock, always, it's already, obviously it's $2 billion capitalization, etc., all this stuff's good. If you're going to make any decisions, always have a look at that earnings. And if there is an earnings between now and decision time, then really err on the size of being conservative. But you see, June the 2nd is after expiry. So for that reason, that encourages me to just do nothing on that. All right. Okay, so I'm saying doing nothing on that one. CRE, I'm looking at that right now, and you can see it's had a pullback. But see how there's a large volume on it there. It's shortening there. April 22 is behind us now. You can see. What's that?
Had some earnings, and it was pretty reasonable earnings, but it was slightly less than what it was forecast in the market.
Yeah.
So that's why the difference.
Yep. So that's, and you can see that happening on that actual day there. That's the volume. Everyone's jumped on it with that volume there, and it'll be a good buy. If you had to buy, it'd be great. But if you've got it at it's well down. I can give you that. We're going to have a look at that tomorrow. Let's leave it be for right now. Maybe. No, that's right. You got it at 52.50. Yeah, because you rolled it straight across.
We do down or across.
Yeah.
Might be at 55.
Might be a good. Looking at it, might be a good time to roll it now. Out. It's well down, and you might get a really juicy premium for doing that.
Yeah, I had a look this morning, Pete, and there wasn't really anything unless to roll it by rolling it down. It was actually going to cost quite a reasonable amount actually at the moment. So I don't know why the premiums haven't changed yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just have a little look at our.
It'll be set back for that volatility or something.
Let's have a look at our choices here. Who's got it? Just you and Trev.
Yeah, just me and Trev as far as I know.
Oh, what did Steve Rowland? You haven't got it.
No, not this one.
So just to repeat myself, I'm looking at CRE 5250. Yeah, and oh, I haven't got it because I didn't roll it like that. Yeah, okay, no worries.
Yeah, the only reason that we rolled it like that was because it was going to gain us about $1,000 margin and also make something like $1.50, $1.20 or something, quite a huge amount of money at the time.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Kind of going to do two positive things.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just have a look at this. Okay, quick. So if anyone's ever wondering, you just go up to quote option chains, and there it is. And a bit of a look here. So 52.50 for currently, it'll cost you $6.35 to get out of it. Yep. So remember that number. And yeah, and like you're saying, 46. So it'll cost you a bit. Put it down to 45. Just wait. Let it come back a bit. Let it come back a little bit before we do that.
Yeah. We're still on your weekend, aren't we? So.
Yeah. We're only 1 week in. Just give it some time. Don't react too quickly. I was going to say if you could roll it down and across for nothing, like it was about break even, but I reckon that'll happen in the next week. It'll be about break even for the roll. All right.
Yeah. They've changed it around, but they'll adjust the tables.
All right. That's my view on that one. And the next one, what price have you got? Oh, you did CIN. Craig, what's SLW? 22, isn't it? SLW, yeah, who's got that?
Yeah, it's 20. It's 22 PD. I rolled it into May for 22.
Okay, so SLW 22. That's sweet. That's no worries at all. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's looking okay.
Okay, and then VRX 125, was it?
Which again, yeah, I rolled that into May for 125. Yeah.
Oh, looking good.
Yeah, which I think, yeah, as I said, I did quite well rolling that one.
Yeah, what did we have it? I mean, I have to look at, what did we have it for last month?
No, at I think it was 125. I think we rolled it straight across.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Well, it looks good.
But, I think I did quite well out of it, Peter, because probably fortunately for me, I missed your first update on it when you first said to roll it.
Yeah.
And then it had quite an increase, but the next day by the time I saw it.
Yeah.
So I rolled it on a much higher price, which gave me a lot better premium.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, there you go. Well, that's good. Isn't it good, even for new people like Adam and so forth on the calls tonight? Like, we're talking about the worst trades, and we're talking about rolls from last month. And last month, we all know, was like pretty horrific into the market. And so we're talking about the carryover. And here we are, and we're going, no worries. The only one, would be this Cree one. And our answer to that is, I'll give it a couple of days, and then we'll just roll it when it's break even. So, pretty good. Touch wood. Let's not get arrogant, but we just keep it nice and conservative. Okay. Next topic. Any other chit chat questions about trading?
No, I think I'm all good, Pete.
All good. Okay. Next topic tonight was. I will just quickly touch it on again because I'm passionate about it, but. I sent off the payment this morning or the next instalment for the boat to Antarctica, and it's on. If you want to come, or you know anybody that that would be a suitable mentor, it's going to be fantastic. And I'm not going to spend much time because you guys know all about it. But it is fantastic, and the itinerary is right here. You go to leadershipgroup.com.au, click on adventure. The itinerary is here. I'm having lunch on Friday. I'm having lunch this Friday with a guy called Wayne Quillam, who's on board. He's one of the most famous Indigenous photographers, internationally highly regarded. And he's going to be doing a lot of the photography with it, and he's going to be photographing this Dreamtime serpent that we're making with the teddy bears. Anyway, just to reiterate that, where's my itineraries here? And there you go. And there's all the the details there for you. So that's pretty exciting, and that's the thing that really got me into teaching people about trading in the first place. My background wasn't trading. My background was adventure. But I wanted to find a way that I could teach people to have time and money, because it seems to be very unusual to find people with time and money. So I've got the hiccups, but anyway, it's working, which is a blessing for me. So that's Antarctica. I hope you can come. Now the next topic is mindset, and on your mindset side, I'd like you to refer to the Lucky Life Formula program that we provided you with at a platinum level. And that's here for you under luckylifetrader.com, and you go into mindset, of course, once you're logged in. Good, and you log in. Excuse me. Oh, just talking. No, nothing to do with mindset really. I went to the Collingwood Essendon game at the MCG for Anzac Day. Oh my God, it was fantastic. Did anybody watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. We don't get AFL in Canberra.
It's the real. What do you guys watch NRL and stuff? Do you?
It's all rugby in Canberra, unfortunately.
Well, Steve's been very good with the Lucky Life formula and doing the exercise. So, Steve, we're up to doing chapter 7, are we?
Yeah, chapter 7.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So here we go. We've gone through the previous ones, and we're going in here. And I just want to see the video that I did on this. Probably a bit down.
Welcome to lessons.
Okay, that's filmed down in Antarctica, and we're going to go now through the worksheet, and we're going to look at the exercises with this program. And I don't know, and I do know, Steve. Well, I'll ask you this. I mean, how important, even though it appears to have nothing to do with trading, how important do you think it is to work on your mindset with regard to being a trader?
Oh yeah, you're probably the right person to ask.
Yeah.
As you know, I started and then faltered and got worried and concerned and pulled out and probably did all the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, this is the second time round, and
Yep.
I'm now looking back on it and thinking that mindset's everything. If you bring emotion into it, and especially with trading, it can really muck around with your brain a lot.
So, getting the mindset right it's more important than everything else. It really is. And then you can apply it. I mean, you might, after getting your mindset right, you might choose not to trade with me or anybody. That's cool as. Get the mindset right, and then you can really do some good things. So this is all the education that goes in here, and you got there's videos behind it. I'm going to scroll down now and go to the exercises, and I'm just going to run a little workshop on the Lucky Life formula as per the agenda for tonight. Here's an here's the summary of that chapter, and then just going down here into the exercises. So 7.1, failing to plan is planning to fail. Write down 10 times in your life when having a plan would have led to a better outcome. So I'm just going to, even though I know, some of you have done it, some of you haven't, we're just going to have a little bit of a workshop now. I'll start with Adam. Give me an example, Adam, with hindsight, the outcome would have been better if you had a plan.
Oh, you put me on the spot. Huh?
Yeah, that's what I do. I always put people on the spot. Bill, you're next, and then Glenn. So, Adam, just any old time. It could have been a camping holiday with your family, anything. If you'd had a plan, it would have been a better outcome.
I plan pretty well, and I plan pretty stringently, so things don't go awry. But I suppose, golly gosh.
Just while you're thinking, just tell me about your planning. When you say you plan pretty well, how do you do that?
A lot of research, a lot of looking at what the outcome is that I set goals. I set a lot of goals. and because of that, I sort of go to, what's going to help me achieve that main goal.
Yeah, good.
I do that. I've done that for a while because I've been involved in martial arts. So you've got to be very strict in your routine and your habits, and to excel. That mindset is always very important.
Yeah.
Look, there's many times, and I can't even just bring one up, but there's always times where you fail.
Yeah.
And I suppose in work life, not closing a deal, because I'm a sales guy.
Yep.
And not closing a deal on time when you expected it to, because of the factors that you just didn't realise were going to be part of the overall outcome. So when you're dealing with outside influences,
yep,
I suppose experience comes into it, but you can never get everything right.
No.
Yeah, that's the hindsight, isn't it?
That's the hindsight, but you can't factor for all external factors. But I guess what planning allows you to do is to be more objective, to be more proactive and less reactive. So I guess in a sales environment that would be pretty important.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah. Okay, good answer. I'll go down now to young Bill, who's always quick with a joke. Oh, it sounds like a song from Billy Joel. John at the bar was quick with the joke and I'd light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. Bill, how are you going? What's happening to Bill's microphone? Hang on, let me just check. Bill,
Can you sing it for me, Pat?
Okay. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and the regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man called Bill.
No fear, Peter.
If I'd played better, I wouldn't have asked that question.
There's an old man making love to his tonic and gin. Okay. Now, Bill, this is a great question for you. Health, I am. Give me your big health statement, your vision statement for you in 3 years' time. Well, no, sorry, in 5 years' time. What's your big health statement?
What will I be in 5 years' time?
Yes, if you're still with us.
I'll still be here, mate. You'll have to look twice to see me because I'll be that much skinnier. I won't even cast a shadow, probably. Got a figure on that. I have to stand out in the sun twice just to put a shadow out there, Pat.
All right. So what's your statement for your health in 5 years' time?
It'll be quicker than that. It'll be probably in 5 or 6 months.
Yep.
It'll be a lot lighter and a lot fitter.
Okay, good.
Down by probably 20 or 30 kilos.
Good, I like it. Now, just a lesson for all of us, when you do these statements, make it a statement which is positive in its own right. It has no reference point to the past, because the past might be a person being a bit overweight or whatever. So how can you say you're lighter and fitter without referring to a reference to the past?
Well, I can't use the word lighter, can I?
Well, no, you can't. You got to just go say it as is. I am. Bang. I'm cut. I'm shredded. Me and Tarzan. So what could you say?
That'll be me, Pete. That'll be me.
All right. So you could say, I am healthy, fit, and enjoying recreation. Or you could say, health. I am happy with. I'm fit and happily enjoying weighing, 86, 84 kilos or whatever the number is, proportional to your height and wide, and width and all the rest of it. But just make your statement independent from the past, because the past is populated with limitations. Okay.
Yep.
Good. And you apply that statement in short term, mid term, and long term. Okay, good. Okay, scroll now, because a person if any person's joining the call who hasn't been with us for a while, we have been working through each fortnight, each chapter, and we've come to a level now we're reviewing our goals, okay, and we're doing the KPI indicators. So let's use a new one. For instance, KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator, and it's a dollar, or it's a number, or it's a kilo, or it's a per meter. It's a measurement against a person's performance in a particular area. So, for example, if it's health, it might be saying, okay, after quarter one, I'll be 110, 100, 90, 80, whatever. You can even apply it to romance. You say, well, hang on, how can you monetize, or how can you measurize romance? You can say, okay, my wife feels pampered and well supported. At the end of the first quarter, we will have gone out for 3 weekends and 4 nights out. You know, by the second quarter, it'll be 6 weekends and 8 nights out. You know what I'm saying? So everything really can be measured, and frankly, if it's not measured, it doesn't happen.
Poochie's listening.
Should be happy with me. You guys will be happy too. By the way, your the property you bought through your super is going particularly well. Oh, by the way, I meant to say we've got drinks on tomorrow night. So I know you guys aren't in Melbourne, but if you got any family or friends that want to come along on your behalf, you're more than welcome to send them along for drinks tomorrow night. Okay.
No, I'm actually in Sydney at Trent's place at the moment.
And how Trent and Natalie on the call tonight?
Yeah, we are now.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah. Got 5 on and all good.
All good. That's good to hear. It's a family affair. That's good. Okay, so Glenn, can I get you to give me a KPI for a vision statement for you in any one of those areas?
Yes, any one of the health, friends, family, work,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm health-wise.
Health. Yep.
I am currently working my way to a sub 10% body fat.
Mm-hmm.
Which is my main goal there.
Mm-hmm. So can I just jump in there for a second while you're doing that? Just how the unconscious mind or the subconscious brain works. If it thinks you're working towards something, it'll keep working towards something. So you're better off saying, I am 10% body fat, lean, mean, and happy. Whatever.
Yep.
Don't work towards something, because what you do is you say I am, and then let your body go about working towards the outcome, which is already pre-achieved, as it were. If it's done in the mind, then it happens in the body.
Right. So this is not about obviously setting sort of time frames or anything down. It's about putting yourself where you want to be and letting things follow that.
It is, but there's 2 parts to it. The first bit here, the actual statement here, which health I am, that's non-time based. It's just a statement saying I am 10% body fat, fit and healthy, right? Yep. The next bit, this here, where it says KPI, that's a real reality. That's no makeup. That's real. So your answer is, okay, by the end of quarter one, what will be your percentage body fat?
Yep.
So what would the number be?
Right at this moment?
Yeah, in reality, like in 3 months' time from now.
3 months' time from now,
yeah.
I'd be 9.5.
Okay, well, you're already under 10 by then.
Well, in 3 months' time, I want to be, yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, then what do you want?
Yeah.
What's your number in a year's time? Because in a year's time, that's the end of the 4th quarter. What would your number there be?
The exact same. I mean,
okay.
Anywhere sub 10. I mean, after that, it's just maintaining.
It's academic after that, is it? Okay.
Healthy life, yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm nowhere near that mark, but if anybody's
You know what I'm like.
if anybody knows who Glenn is, and he's just the fittest looking guy you'll ever see in your life. So I can appreciate where he's coming from, and as is his wife. Okay, so sub 10, and you have your number there, and that's what you measure against. Okay, so awareness is the first step for change, and sometimes people go and change their lives without actually being aware of their reality. So having KPIs around statements which are proactive and are positive for you can really allow you to take action only where you need to, and the actions you take are actually proactive for your benefit. Good. And same with money. You know, people can have a statement with money. You know, money. I invest wisely, and money goes for me every day. Money. I'm just making these statements up, but you could have money statement. I have a number of fruitful investments which grow for me repeatedly. I have a number of investments which are very profitable. Then you say, well, that's fine. What's the reality? And you say, oh, money. Q1. This is important to us. Okay, money. I'll make some numbers up. In a person's.
This is not a valid menu option.
No, I didn't press the menu option. If you heard that, you say I have $100,000 in my trading account. Okay, Q2, I have $150,000 in my quarter account. You know, that's your measurement. Okay, all good.
Yep, all good.
All good. Okay. Now, this is 7.4 is about prioritizing your time. I've talked before about this. It's so important. I do it every day. I just get a sheet of paper and you do a T on your page, and you go A, has to be done, and B, not essential. And I learned this on a management course I did years ago when I was working with the MS Society. It was great. What you do, I'll show you the next screen. You wrote down the 5 projects. And in my case, it could be the farm, you know, the wedding conference I've got up there, the horses, then I've got the Yorkshire project, I've got Antarctica, I've got trading, and then I've got family, you know, and you have these projects, that's 6 projects. And then from the project, you have the outcome that you want written first. You don't write the bridge or the river you got to cross. You write the mountain I will climb, and then you come backwards from the mountain. And so it looks a bit like this. And you have the projects there, like project 2 on this example here, have bank the checks. Well, the thing before that would be to chase up the debtors, or, you know, what's this one? Project 3, investments, get research report on property. Well, then to do that, you've got to email Bob to follow up, for example. So your first thing you say is the end, and then you put the actions which have to happen before that. And on the left-hand side, you put the have-tos, and on the right-hand side, you put the not-essentials. And what's so important about doing that is, by doing that, you allow yourself to go tick, 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 and go, yes, I did it. You know, I can be happy. Whereas we get so used to being miserable, we write a list which is about a whole foolscap page long of things to do. You do a third of them. You can't give yourself a high five. You're all miserable. You say, oh, I've only done a third. There's 2/3 I didn't do. And you're miserable. Whereas you can be like, yeah, I did it. I did all my really important things. And to do that, prioritize and set yourself up for success, because it's so easy to be miserable. So make it easy for yourself. Okay, 7.7, reviewing your plans. So by now you've been working through this with me, you know, all this year. So review your plan, review your annual plan quarterly, quarterly plan monthly, monthly plan weekly, and weekly plan daily. And I do that. Sunday night's my big one for that. Sunday night I'll just sort of doodle onto a pad there, a T-bar for the projects ahead, and then I carry that in my pad each day with my daily, you know, and you kind of always refer back to the big goals. And I'll just tell you a quick story short on that one, which you may have heard before from sort of, you know, Harvard lecturing books and so forth, but the story about the Harvard lecturer who was lecturing some very intelligent MBA students, and he has this jug, and the jug, he puts these rocks in there, and it's overflowing with rocks, and he says to the students, hey, is this jug full? And one bright student says, well, sir, you know, Your Honour, the jug isn't full because, of course, if you put small pebbles in there, they could go between the cracks. So he puts pebbles in there and he says, "Okay, is it full?" And they say, "Well, no, sir. Actually, if you put sand in there, you can fill up the gaps between the pebble and the rock." So he puts sand in there. Is it full? No, sir. Actually, if you fill it up with water, it would, be permeating between all the gaps. And so he fills up with water, and it's overflowing with water. And he turns to the class in the MBA in Harvard, and he says, "What's the moral of the story?" And one bright student says, "Well, sir, Your Honour, the moral of the story is you can always squeeze something else in." And he says, "No, that is not the moral of the story, although it might be true. The moral of the story is this: if you don't put the big rocks in first, you'll never get them in." Okay, so this entire education I've just been doing with you right now is about you really contemplating the big rocks and getting them in first, getting them in first. So, like, for instance, in the consulting work, people might say to me, why do you always leave at 3 o'clock or whatever? In my case, and I say, well, it's in my diary. I pick up my kids every day at 3:30, so that's in my diary already. Just things like that. So whatever your big rocks are, put them in first. That's all I'm saying, and then you can add on the other things. But don't trying to get the big rocks in later on, because it's too late. Your jug's already full by then with Facebook and Twitter. All right. Now, end first planning the week ahead. So it's really important with your week ahead, you put 2 really good things in for a Monday. So let me go. So I've stopped asking questions. I'll go to Steve McKenzie next. Steve, what could you put on a Monday to make you look forward to Monday rather than having Monday-itis? What could you put on a Monday?
Pete, I'd probably put go for a kite surf,
Yeah.
go for a mountain bike ride.
Now, being a fellow kite surfer, the only trouble with that is, of course, it's weather dependent. Yeah? So you can put it in there for sure. Now, how else could you write that statement that there's more control? Because you know me, I don't like to give away control much. So how can you write that statement that's more within your control about something you might do on that day?
I suppose you could say, if wind is there, go for a kite surf. If there's no wind, go for a mountain bike ride.
Great. So that's within your control, isn't it?
Yeah.
And either way, would you look forward to either of those options?
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoy doing both those things. So, yeah.
Great. So that's why, years ago, I think I've told you this story before, but when I was consulting for a firm called Enterprise Architects in the city in Collins Street, I would have my one-on-one private boxing lesson with the coach always on a Monday, because in the city, because I was living in the country and I'd come into the city and bang, I knew, hey, awesome, I got my one-on-one coaching session on a Monday. And that's what I always did. Okay, good.
Yeah. I would have said, make love to my wife every Monday morning, but that, again, is out of my control.
However, if you go back up here, Glenn, where's my state? If you took your wife out 3 weekends out of a quarter and 4 nights out a week, a month,
I'd probably have a lot better chance.
I reckon. And if you stop pruning yourself in the mirror and trying to get your body weight down to 10% body fat and put some more attention to...
She's the same.
Oh, she's the same. Righto. All right. Prioritising your time with Enverse. Yeah, we've done that. Okay. Terrific. We've done that. You've shaken me, Glenn. I've got to... Now, the benefits of planning. Having a blueprint, making living easier. Answer these questions. A blueprint makes it easy to forecast. Why? So I'm up to Stephen Rowland. Why does
This is not a valid menu option.
I didn't click a menu option. Steve, why does blueprint make it easier for forecasting?
Well, if you've got a blueprint, you can look forward. And in doing so, you're breaking up into smaller chunks, so forecasting makes it a bit easier, I'm guessing.
What about opportunities? A blueprint makes it easier to see opportunities and to seize opportunities. Why?
You're already sort of down a particular path. So in doing so, you've already pushed yourself, or your momentum is already going. So therefore, I'm thinking that if you had nothing, then the opportunities are not arising to you. So if your momentum is going there, then you'll see stuff that you wouldn't not normally see.
Absolutely. So they say that where focus flows, where focus goes, energy flows. You know, and you see what you're looking for. So all these things, you can actually see things. It's like if a man opens a fridge and he says, "I'm not going to find the milk." Well, he won't find the milk, but the woman comes along and she says, "There's the milk, you know, right in front of you." So that's why they have this term called that's a man look. Yeah, by having a plan which has you being abundant with your finance, has you making love regularly, has you less than 10% body fat, has you doing all these things already pre-written. Well, guess what? The universe provides what you're looking for, you know? So put it out there. 7.10, and then we're almost done. 7.10, seizing the day. So who can give me an example, in no alphabetical order, who can give me an example of an opportunity that you can see with hindsight came into your life, but you didn't grab it? Who can give me an example? No takers?
Well,
I'll go.
Okay.
No one's there.
I'll take both. I'll take Steve's, and I'll take Glenn's after that. Yeah, go, Steve.
Okay, there was Byron Bay, because it's where I want to move up to.
Mm-hmm. You're getting closer. You're at Lennox Head. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't got there yet. I'm still in bloody Canberra, but that's the end of the year. But yeah, if you would have buy in Buddy Byron Bay 20 odd years ago, it would have been ideal. And now knowing what I know, maybe it should have been done.
Were you there? Was there an opportunity where you kind of like you saw a site and you thought, "Oh, this is pretty good"?
Yeah, look, I read a lot of bloody investment books, and they said invest in the CBD of capital cities.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife comes from Lismore, comes from around that area, and he said, "Look, buy in Byron Bay."
Mm.
And I never did. So looking back on it, maybe I should have.
Mm.
But anyway.
My parents bought into Noosa when my mother said to my father, "Darling," I'm not sure if my mother ever called my father darling, but anyway, John, yes, I like this little place, Noosa. It's got a lovely little fishing village. Before Noosa was Noosa. Yeah, those places can go boom. If you get the timing right, of course, they can blow your socks off, but of course, if they don't, then they can sit there for a long time. But certainly Byron Bay and Noosa were examples that took off. Now, Glenn, what was an example of an opportunity that you came into your life?
Well, long time ago, back in the teenage years, I got into flying. I got my pilot's license, and I had full intent of flying fighter jets in the Air Force.
Mm.
That was the whole goal, and I was pretty focused on doing that. And then a few things came into my life, such as sport and women and alcohol, and probably not in that order.
I was going about the order, yeah.
And it was I often look back now and not that I'm not happy with my life now, but to fly those sorts of aircraft, I'm an avid airplane man, and it's I sort of often look back and see that as a bit of an opportunity lost to to sort of do one of the things that I'll obviously never get to do now.
Yep. Well, I thank both Glenn and Steve and for being so honest and brave in that declaration there. And this session there is not about beating any person up, right? It's about just awareness. You say, okay, well, there you go. That happened Byron Bay 20 years ago, or that happened in my teens with applying. Okay, well, how do we create luck now? Okay, how do we say, okay, that was my lesson. I'm here now. Bang, I'm fit. I'm healthy. It's all good. I've got a beautiful life and wife. Okay, what's the future look like? So write down 5 times in your life when somebody has said to you that you are lucky, but you knew that through your actions or thoughts, you had actually created that luck. So who can give me an example of anybody out there where somebody said to you, oh, it's so lucky you've got blah blah, but you know you actually did something that created that? Yeah, Steve McKenzie, go ahead.
Yeah, but maybe even about 6 months ago, I was talking to someone about trading and saying how good it was and everything, and they're kind of like a struggling family, just starting off buying their first house and everything, and they said to me, yeah, you're so lucky that you're able to, work out how to trade and be able to do that, that we could never do.
Yep. And you sort of said, well, I bought the program back when it was twice what it's costing now, and and you had to fund. When you were coming from a low base back then, you had to fund every payment. Yep, yeah, good on you.
So it wasn't luck; it was just determination and wanting to do something. Following it through.
I get the same thing with, particularly with this Antarctic, taking trips down there and so forth, and people go, "Oh, so lucky, that you get to run trips to Antarctica." And I was like, okay, no worries. Well, you put down $500,000 for a charter for 2 weeks, you just, luck, the fortunes go to the brave. I gave this talk last night, actually, and we're coming to the end of our hour now, and it's perfect timing because we're at the end of this lesson, which is perfect way to, a segue really, about luck. And I was talking last night at the Yorkshire about opportunities and about creation of equity in your life, and there was 2 French speakers there, and I was just saying, that the French word for heart is cœur, and to come from the heart, of course, we see in the English word courageous, to be courageous. And the fortunes, as Bill, you recall from our boot camp, we wrote that on the blackboard. But the fortunes go to the brave. Yeah, the fortune goes to the brave, and it's not because the brave know more or have any more wisdom or have some inside knowledge. It's just the fact the fortune does indeed go to the brave. And the brave are not necessarily, Mel Gibson in Braveheart. It's just the person who actually is courageous, who comes from their heart, acknowledges their fears, and does it anyway. And that's where doing exactly what you've been working through here with the Lucky Life Formula can really pay dividends, because it allows you to be objective, to be third-person objective, looking at your life, putting the big rocks in first, and not being reactive and emotional. And as you heard from Steve Rowland there, a great example, saying, well, I traded with you a year or 2 years ago. I chucked it in through emotions, and here I am back now after working on mindset, and I'm making $7,300 a month, right? You see that? So this luck in our life is actually really people being responsible for their life and taking proactive actions in their life, including planning. So in summary, I thank you for working diligently through the Lucky Life Formula, through the education which you're being provided. Tonight's call has been a summary. We have worked through the positions that people have had, and we've worked through everyone's positions, including the roles and the positions you've got. They seem to be going very well. We've looked also at the trip to Antarctica, and you've looked at that, and that's all there for you. If you wish to participate in that, just click on that. There it is. Good. And we've also talked about the Lucky Life Formula and working through that, and all the education is there for you also, and you can work through each chapter. So in summary, that's been a great hour of education in which we've covered trading, mindset and adventure. Any questions or comments in closing?
That was a good session, Peter.
Thanks, David. Yeah, great having you on board, and thank you for everyone being so honest and proactive and you know, providing a really good dialogue. Okay, I mean, I really love doing what I'm doing, and I love working with good people. So, you know, thank you for being here on this Wednesday night. Okay.
Good on you, Peter. Thank you.
See you guys. Bye.